from Julio Cruz and Gaylord Perry to Alvin Davis and Harold Reynolds to father and son back-to-back bombs, from Junior J, Joey, and Edgar with Randy, A-Rod, Dan, and the Sheriff, to Ichiro Moyer and Mikey C, to King Felix, Kyle Cruz, and Cano, to the present with Julio, Gilbert, Kirby, and Cal. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my, it's another sports podcast. My, oh my, it's another sports podcast, and my, oh my, it is some intense baseball games every night or midday game, depending on the situation there. I mean, we're talking about RG. We are tied for first in the AL West. If you look a little bit deeper, we are technically 0.01% behind the Houston Astros. Holy smokes, it is going to be a thrilling 45 games down the stretch. I am absolutely pumped about baseball and Mariners right now. You know, rain or shine, sun or snow, we're going to rep this team from every corner of this beautiful country. You got Indy out there in Nashville, Tennessee. My boy RG down there in Albuquerque. I'm up here in Little Lake Stevens in the great Pacific Northwest. Just want to give a huge shout out to Indy and his wonderful lady, Darby, Vaden Podcast Services. They're the ones that bring this show to life. I want to give a fantastic shout out to all the homies in the live chat. We love each and every one of you. We love the fire. We love you dropping knowledge, the jokes you tell. You are a giant part of this show. But of course, the main man, my main man, I don't even know where he is right now. This guy's all over the country. But you know what time it is. When it's sink or swim, you know RG is going to think to win. What's going on, big bro?
I'm the realest motherfucker that I know. Wasn't always the case. Guess I figured had to grow. I do it for the love. I don't do it for the dough. But I know these suckers gets will, so it keeps me on my toes. What's sad is I couldn't tell you what I'm hated for. And these painkillers didn't murder pain. They gave me more. Live from Modesto, California, Vaden Podcast Services presents My Oh My. It's another sports podcast. Go to work.
Hell yeah, baby. Well, we know you're working hella hard out there, man. Modesto Nuts. You repping it for a low A team right now? I think that team has been killing it this year. But of course, the main squeeze is obviously the Mariners. And to me, it's been a really up and down week. I feel like I say that every single time, but that's baseball, and especially how the Mariners have been playing. We were unable to get on it last week. That's not our style. We usually come with it every Sunday evening, so you know we're back with it. But RG, tough against Boston, bounce back versus Philly, really disappointing against Detroit, sweep the shit out of the New York Queens Mets. What are your thoughts on the last couple weeks, and also, how do you think you feel about the trade deadline?
This Mets series, I think, is a good win because they're also struggling for their playoff lives just as we are. It was good to see some good performances coming across. Polanco with the bat, Captain Cal crushing the ball, Robles doing what he does. I'm really liking the addition of Rosarena and what he's brought to the team so far. Just forgive me for being melancholy and not being too excited about it, but we're still in the same position we were when we last left these airwaves 2 weeks ago, where we're still technically behind Houston. If the season ended today, it'd be one game short. So it is going to be an exciting last 45 games down the stretch. What we can't afford to do is to go up to Detroit and lose 2 or 3 coming up. Some winnable series we have. Pittsburgh's going to be interesting. Then we got a trip down to Dodger Town to go get a look at former Mariner Teoscar Hernandez and all-world Shohei Ohtani. It's there for us. But, again, just forgive me for not being overly excited about it. I'm an old Mariner fan. I've lived this story a whole lot. And really until we have a streak of games that we could put together where we're not just really bouncing back and matching what Houston's doing, because matching what Houston is doing isn't going to get us where we want to be. So still a lot of baseball to be played left. The trade deadline, I thought we got what we could. We weren't going to be the players that I thought we were going to be in it, but I like the Arozarena pickup. I really do. And now that we got Julio back, hopefully we can get JP back in. Those guys can kind of join the fire a little bit. I probably need you to keep talking shit about players in the Mariners lineup, because every time you do, they start performing. So like I told you in the group chat, go ahead and say that I'm not going to be worth $1 million in 3 years. So then that way I can just go stand outside and chase bait with my debit card ready.
So if y'all don't know, it seems like every single time I call a Mariner out, they catch fire. I say Julio might have had to quit the juice this offseason. He goes on a tear before he hurts his ankle. 2 weeks ago, I literally was saying Mitch Haniger is washed. Mitch Haniger is washed, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but he sure shut me up and turned me into the giant fan of his I've always been. But here's the funny thing, though, RG, because in our group text, I told you, man, was I wrong about that one? And you're like, well, we'll see about that. And you're actually completely spot on there, because Haniger, the hero, with 2 walk-offs on the week, also only hit 143 on the week. So this guy has the ability to kind of be like a Robert Ory for our team in a way, where even if he only has 4 points in the basketball game, he's going to hit that dagger 3 at the very end to rip your heart right out of your chest. And this is what's so fun to me about baseball, though, is in the Tigers series, center fielder Parker Meadows, he makes an unbelievable robbery of a potential go-ahead home run from Cal Raleigh. The wheels fall off for our bullpen. Andres Munoz was going to be on 2 days rest at that point. So if that ball gets over the fence, you know he's coming in throwing his fire. We probably locked that one down. But then the very next night, rookie Ryan Valade dies for what was a potential game clinching out there in right field. He misses what, when the ball was in the air, I thought for sure he was going to catch that thing. He dives, he misses, all 3 runs score. We walk it off, and obviously he probably could have let the ball bounce in there, catch it, give up a single, maybe game's tied, maybe he throws him out at home. But RG, this is just the fun about baseball, is sometimes your guys make the great plays to save the game, sometimes they don't.
First of all, I'm not going to take any of your disrespect talking about Robert Ory. I'm a Suns fan, and I really specifically hate that bastard. And Robert Ory has 7 rings. Tell me what Mitch Haniger's done as far as championships go. But that's neither here nor there, really. The thing with Haniger's performance is I'm glad he had those moments. Maybe it could be good for his psyche moving forward, but this is still the beginning stretch of August. And that 143 is what's more alarming than his 8th career walk-off being a part of the Mariners. We need constant production as we keep moving forward through the last 7 weeks of this season. And really a performance like that isn't going to get it done. We tend to get caught up in these vacuum moments where, yeah, that double he hit, that basic clearing double he hit was fucking fantastic. It absolutely is. But still, just in the grand scheme of things, we are just flip-flopping positions with Houston. We can't seem to catch a string of wins while they have a string of losses. I was hoping maybe Boston could have helped decide a little bit, and they kind of just thrashed Boston. And it's also good to see the Yordan Alvarez hits against teams that aren't just the Mariners as well, too. But still, a lot of baseball left to be played. I just hope that, well, I already think we're in a better position than last year. These guys in our pitching staff kind of know what last year taught them. So hopefully Service puts them in a position where they're not having to carry so much of the load. But again, the other side of that sword is they need run production in order for us to be able to get into that bullpen to see what kind of strength that is for us. But good to see Julio back, even though he did look a little bit uncomfortable at the plate today. And just hoping we could take this victory, build, and just, God, I don't want to go lose 2 out of 3 again against Detroit. We definitely need to go up there and beat that ass.
Oh, absolutely. And what was really disappointing is on one of those losses against Detroit, Cal Raleigh mentioned that he didn't think everybody was locked in as well as they should be. And that's disappointing to hear. It is baseball though. It guys are going to maybe not be as intense out there as you would like them. But it's a 162 game season. You kind of expect a little bit of lulls, but now is not that time. But I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody, man. Sunday Evening Media, Ginger Fit Dad, Tommy, Texas Power Ranger, Mariners Lifer, Jared, the double sweep incoming, and all y'all got so many good thoughts right now. Mariners Lifer, oh boy, that Troy Taylor looks filthy. If y'all were watching, Indy sent us this text. So, of course, I'm going to go and look up his scouting report. That's what I always do. Gotta. But this dude's electric. It's obvious as it can get that he is super electric. He has that mid to high 90s sinker. I don't even know if we can call it a sinker because that thing moves so damn much. It's its own pitch in itself. That slider is nasty in the mid 80s right there. Late movement, coming across, breaking hard, and the scouts think that this dude even has closer potential. He came through the system like a whirlwind, moved through it so quickly, 2 years basically. And the only weakness he really has is his stuff moves so much. He's got to learn to harness his powers a little bit. That sounds like a Mariners reliever to me. If they get their druthers, they're going to get some guy with that super high potential, extreme velocity, awesome movement, and then see like X-Men on Cyclops, put on those glasses, see if you can harness those lasers. But we probably need reinforcements at the end of the bullpen. Some of our dudes like Thornton seem to be running on fumes a little bit. I still like the guy, but everyone has a role in life, and his role is more low leverage. He's been thrust into a bunch of really sticky situations and hasn't really come through. But RG, it's kind of crazy. I didn't even think that we'd be calling up a guy like this. And of course, I've been pounding the table for Carlos Vargas for a while now. So it's just going to be really fun to see this young man develop. It's only one game. Nobody's ever seen him. But I agree with everybody on the live chat. They're saying Taylor's legit. What do you think, man?
All right. Well, from listening to the stuff and seeing that filthy movement, let's give this young man a chance to try to hone some of that in and work on some of his mechanics with him as we continue to go through. To be able to change eye levels like that is going to be huge. So you can't really just sit on anything that he has because you never know where it's going to end up. And if he can stay around that zone and just make it difficult for hitters to be able to get good reads on him as we press forward, he could end up being a strength for us. So it's definitely good to see homegrown talent come up through the system. We've been raving about the farm system for years now, and to see someone other than just Julio and Locklear and Bliss get a chance to come in and show what they have with it, I'm all for it, man. So hopefully this guy can definitely help be the cure to what ails us. It's just going to be a fun, nauseating, heartbreaking, emotional, thrilling ride the next 7 weeks. And as far as the comment about Cal feeling that some guys aren't locked in, we're in the playoffs right now. There's no other way around it. It's a two-man race between us and Houston, and what we can't do is get Sha'Carri Richardson, where we're not pressing when we come out the block. They're going to get a step on us, and just as she fell victim in the women's 100, we can't let them get that step on us. We have to keep pace for pace with them with everything that they're bringing to the table. Winning teams know how to win. They do have a bunch of guys, whether you feel they're cheaters or not. who have been there before and have performed at that high level. We need to be able to come out and match them. They're going to be pressure tested. We've only responded to the pressure once in the last 20 years, once in the last 23 years, matter of fact. So, yeah, man, just any good signs of positivity in life that we have, and seeing this young man come in and do his thing today was pretty impressive.
Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah. We got a lot of our normal homies up in the live chat. I also want to give a shout out Jared Backman. If I mispronounced your name, I apologize. And Jerry
Jerry
B.
B6,
There we
Jerry
go,
B6,
man.
baby,
Hey,
friend of the
it's
show.
no joke. You see me looking over at the live chat on my side more than I look at RG, but that's because we love the fire that y'all bring to the show. So keep it coming, keep it coming. So one thing I always like to do is when you make moves at the deadline, especially as a buyer, well, how have you done? Since July 30th, trade deadline day. Mariners are 7-4 since then, and we need to keep this pace up. I was extremely disappointed in how we performed against Detroit. We got to make that up. We can't let that shit happen again when we go to the middle of the country here in a minute. But 7-4 is the ball we need to play. 500 ain't gonna cut it. We need to get 8-4, 9-4, 10-4. Those are the sort of streaks it's going to take over the next 45 games, because even with Houston's weaknesses in their starting pitching depth, like you said, RG, cheaters or not, these are proven winners, and proven winners find ways. You got Jordan Alvarez, even when Bregman's having a down season, he's still a threat. Altuve, psh, I, psh, I mean, we're lucky Kyle Tucker is on the shelf. That lineup is so dangerous to me. That lineup is so dangerous to me. They can get you anytime. Plus 40 run differential, Ginger Fit. That's pretty damn good. Better than the Mariners, but I'm very happy with the 7-4 record since the deadline. And we kind of went right up the alley we thought we might. Jimmy Garcia, JT Chargois. Let's bolster the bullpen. Even with a better lineup that I see right now, you said it just a minute ago, this team's still going to rely on pitching. We just can't be shitty. We can't be abysmal. Can we just be solid? If our lineup is solid, we have a real chance at this thing. Then, of course, Justin Turner, great addition in terms of still a solid hitter, veteran leadership. He's played in freaking like 90 playoff games, basically. Talk about experience. And then, of course, I left Randy Arozarena for last because I absolutely love this move. I wasn't thrilled necessarily early in the year, but that's because he was hitting so shitty. And apparently he was trying to work in too much. I feel like sometimes the analytics RG behind hitting are making some of these guys push too much out of what they do. And Randy decided, I'm going to do what got me here. Do what got me here. And he's really turned it around and hit well in the last month or two, per se. And so he is also going to have 2 more seasons after this one. So we can count on him for 25 and 26, which is crucial to me because I feel the Mariners blew it in the offseason. Even though I really liked some of their moves, it just felt like we needed so much offensive help, RG. And I don't know about you, but I love a Rosarina. I love Victor Robles. And just looking at tonight, man, we scored 12 runs and Julio struck out 5 times. I decided to call it the gold white sombrero because I'd have never heard of a nickname for someone striking out 5 damn times in a night. But if we got J-Rod Kane like that, I know some of our live chatters are worried about maybe bringing him back too soon. I think a lot of us were. But if he can be that ineffective, we still score 12, that shit might be where we need to go to get where we want to go.
Shit. You can call it the RG sophomore year because I strike out 5 times every time I try to holler at women back when I was a sophomore in high school. We'll just call it the RG, damn it. I definitely am a fan of the Rosarena pickup. I thought it was something we could have done during the offseason, but hey, better late than never. And speaking of some of those offseason moves that we make, for me, this seems like a perfect time for Luke Riley to find that bat. Seems like a perfect time for Albuquerque's own Mitch Garver to find that magic that he helped Texas get to the World Series and win it last year with. It was good to see Castillo have some really good stuff. Made that one guy look like a complete ass clown up there in the dish today. We're just going to be in for the long run. So get your popcorn ready. Like I've been saying, grab a Tylenol. You might need it. Get your favorite adult beverage. Roll something up if you have to. Have it on deck. It's going to be a bumpy ride the next 7 weeks. But, hey, man, it'll be a fun one. This is what we want. And Rome wasn't built in a day, so it's really time for us to go out and conquer it. Just looking at what we have moving forward, we just need solid performances all around. The lights are already going to be bright, and if you're scared, go to church. Each man step up, pass it down the line. It would be nice to see if we could have some of this offensive firepower travel with us to the Midwest. But God knows we're going to need it. Pittsburgh's a scrappy team, man. They've given the Dodgers absolute fits this week. And the Dodgers are one of the top 2 teams in baseball. So, yeah, man, it's definitely not going to be easy. There's no real gimmies on the schedule. We do need to go out and perform. And we're so close. We're so close you could taste it. But it is going to take a good team effort to get us over this hump.
Absolutely, absolutely. Touching on the white, golden, bedazzled sombrero, as Jerry B just called it, Ginger Fit and Jerry has some good comments to me. Julio isn't right and shouldn't be playing. I was thinking that it might be a little too early. One of my oldest friends in the world, we've always called it the dreaded high ankle sprain because it seems like this injury happens way more in football, but it's not a sprained ankle where you come back in a week or two. We see most guys are coming back like 4 weeks, 6 weeks. So I'm wondering if it's way too early. May he rest in peace, but the legend John Clayton would always tell us that back in the day, they called a high ankle sprain a broken leg. So it kind of lets you know the severity of it. And I was really wondering about this timeline also. I also want to give credit to the pitching. These guys are throwing, we might have touched up Severino, but he really only had a couple of bad pitches, and that's all it takes in Major League Baseball. But everyone's throwing mid to high 90s. The sweepers coming across the plate. I can't. It's like a shooting star, man. Looks like it's behind the hitter. All of a sudden, it's outside. Jerry B, I think a rehab start is or 2 or 3 is always a good idea. But let's see what happens here and see if he can get his timing back. Like RG told us, if you foul a pitch straight back, you're a centimeter from crushing it. And we saw Julio do that a few times tonight. I just want to go back really quickly, bro, and look at a couple of notes I wrote down. Super Cal Raleigh, man, Sunday night rally is what I'm going to call him now, man. 3 hits, 2 bombs. Jorge Polanco, 3 for 5, a home run and a double. And all y'all on the live chat are talking about that unbelievable double play last night. If y'all ain't seen it, look it up on the highlights. And if y'all want to see some highlights, my oh my ASP on Facebook, my oh my ASP on Facebook. You know I put that highlight on our page. My new goal is to put out a new fun highlight every night, and it'll mostly be Mariners related. Sometimes it'll just be related to any sport that's hot at that moment. But bro, before we're going back in the low block to you, since the trade deadline, the Mariners have scored 5.9 runs per game. 5.9 runs per game since the trade deadline. That's the shit we desperately need. On the week, just this week, the pitching staff allowed 2.3 runs per game, and the offense managed 5 runs per game. As that 5 runs per game, though, is kind of skewed because we scored 12 Sunday night and put up a 2 spot twice against Detroit, which I was super disappointed about. I'll give credit where credit's due. Tarek Skubal, I think I always pronounce his name wrong, but that guy is just filthy. Cy Young candidate. Is he going to have a Felix Hernandez type career? We'll see what happens, but RG, do you think there's enough done to the lineup that they can at least be respectable where it's kind of been a joke at times this year?
Well, other than calling up Locklear from the minors, we're locked in. This is who we're going to have to try to get this AL West crown. And I just still don't see the loser of the AL West being in a position where they'll leapfrog the other four teams in front of us in the wild card position. So definitely it's AL West, a division championship or bust, the way that I see it. But again, a lot of baseball left to be played. Looking at what the guys were able to do without Julio in the lineup definitely made me feel confident, especially that now some of the other acquisitions that start to come along. Anytime Polanco's up there crushing the ball, Robles looks like we got a diamond in the rough there. I think we're built as strong as we can be, and we do have some guys who hopefully can develop that Mamba mentality that they like to talk about as we come down, where we know what we're here for, we know we were brought together for. It's time for us to go out and do it. Now, baseball isn't like every other sport that we're all fans of, where really it's week by week, 2 or 3 games. This is going to be a long stretch to come in. And I've been screaming all off season. I've been screaming at the beginning of the year. We need that injury bug to move on to someone else and get the hell out of the Pacific Northwest. We're going to need full health from everybody with no hiccups coming along the way. 1 or 2 injuries could potentially cause us to free fall, and we're already skating on thin ice as is, just because we are chasing the big bad wolf. But there is sometimes where little brother gets that shot in on big brother for the first time. He finally knocks him out. There's a time you're playing sports with your dad and you hit that one shot, and then from there, dad can never beat you again. We need one of those moments for the 2024 Mariners to be able to get over that bridge that we're not afraid of Houston. And I don't even think it's so much that we're afraid of them like in the past. Look, we all wanted ownership to go out and make splashes during the offseason, and we all kind of knew in the back of our heads that wasn't going to fucking happen. But we're here. We're here with a chance, so we need to go out and just do the damn thing. Just go out and do it. That's all there is to it. Just go out and fucking play good baseball. We're not gonna go undefeated by any stretch. You were talking about the high ankle sprain and that they used to consider that a broken leg. We all know NFL's about to start, and I'm a Philly fan. I once seen a guy named Terrell Owens with the high ankle sprain go out and get 102 yards in the Super Bowl, and then for some reason we stopped fucking going to him. So, not that I want Julio to play through anything that could jeopardize the rest of his career, because honestly, T.O. wasn't really that kind of beast anymore. He had a couple decent years after that, but just now's the time. Now's the time. It's unfortunate that Julio's hurt, because we definitely gave that guy a lot of money, and we definitely need him to be a part of this. There's only so much that Cal can do. But I like the position we're in better than I did 6 weeks ago, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's for
And
sure.
also, too, we were first in the division with a -5 run differential. Kind of shit is that? And our win-loss record against sub-500 teams has gotten a lot better. We're still under 500, but we bridged that gap. We're only 1 game under 500 against sub-500 teams, so we can't leave any meat on the bone. We definitely got to eat against teams we should be eating against, and we're going to come up against some scrappy teams, St. Louis is going to be fighting for it, and I know we got them coming in September once the calendar flips. We got the Padres, who have miraculously, quietly almost ran down the Dodgers in the NL West. Texas is just going to be a pain in our ass just because they're bastards. Shout out to you, Texas Power Rangers, but fuck your boys. They're going to be a pain in the ass just to get them out of there. They are the defending champs. We are going to have to go heads up against the Yankees, and I would hate for our rematch series against the Yankees to be their get-right week. We still got to go through Houston and the A's, man. How weird was it seeing Sean Manaea on the mound in Seattle, not in that ugly ass green uniform. That was some shit, wasn't it? But just how times in baseball have changed. But no, I definitely like the position we're in with this team better than I did a couple weeks ago. And long way to go. Long way to go.
Holla, you're getting me pumped up, bro. And it is what it is, man. You gotta fucking lay down right now. You absolutely have to go for it, man. It's no room for sitting on the sidelines. It is go time. All year I'm like, you got time, you got time. Well, now you're right, man. Now is that time. Jerry B hashtag this team can pitch. Oh hell yeah. Mets are a legit team right now. This is a legit squad, and they scored 1 run in 3 games. Miller and Gilbert with the identical starts, y'all. This is a baseball fun one for me. Both of them gave up no runs. Both of them 6 Ks, 1 walk. Castillo, obviously the 1 run tonight, 9 Ks, 2 walks. And there's 2 guys that I've been kind of down on this year because they had some struggles, especially in the middle of the season. That's Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo. And Castillo in his last 5 starts, 2.02 ERA. Bryce Miller in his last 7 starts, 2.51 ERA. We know what LG the OG is going to do for us. We know what George Kirby is going to do for us. Brian Wu, if we can keep that guy healthy, it looks like his balls might be dropping in front of our eyes right now because he's been pushing through. Maybe it's the organization letting him push through, but whichever it is, he is pushing through to get into the 7th inning now. I just love watching these guys pitch. They all have fantastic stuff. They all have pretty damn good to elite command. And I just love all their mentalities. Especially, I just love Logan. Like last night, I'm not a lip reader, but he was absolutely pumped on that amazing double play. It's just fun right now. It's just fun right now. Oh, Ginger Fit Dad. Luis Castillo, that 1 strikeout on Iglesias. That reminded me last year when Matt Brash struck out the great Jose Ramirez. And I'm not the biggest Goldie fan, I'll be completely honest about that. But great call by him. Corkscrewed into the ground. That's exactly what happened there. And I'm pumped, man. It's hard for me to really believe that we're going to get it done. That's the Mariners fan in me. But the excitement is 1,000% there. If anyone on the live chat happens to be planning on going to T-Mobile Park a week from this Saturday, Saturday the 24th versus the San Francisco Giants, Saturday the 24th versus the San Francisco Giants. If anyone on the live chat wants to meet up with me and my brother meet up with us, I'll buy you a beer. That's how much we appreciate y'all. And we know that shit ain't cheap at T-Mobile, bro.
Shit. So last week when I was on vacation, ended up going to Dodgers Philly game on Monday, and I kind of splurged on some good seats. Sent you some pictures. We were 2 rows right off the field in the Lexus Club. Had an amazing dinner in the club before, and while you're sitting there in the seats, all the food is free, and where they get you at is making you pay for liquor. I got 1 michelada. And the dude was like, do you want a big boy style or you want a little? I'm like, come on, man. It's a baseball game. I'm here to get wasted, baby. That 1 michelada, that fucker charged me $50 for 1 beer. And yeah, it was the last 1 beer I think I might ever drink at Dodger Stadium again. So yeah, go out and have fun. For those of you who rock on Bleacher Report, I believe that there's a bleacher community meetup also for that game that's been planned as well too. So if you definitely are in the Pacific Northwest, go out, spend all the Ty's money. I don't know if you can see his new background, but he just moved into a new house. So make sure he can't pay his first mortgage payment. Go out there and make that man broke. I've been hosting this show with him for almost a year, and he ain't ever offered to buy me a beer. God damn it. Fucking Seahawk fan.
And so y'all know, RG's dedication to this show is unmatched. He's been traveling across the country since 3 in the morning. He does this show from truck stops when he's not able to get it from home. So he is unable to see the live chat right now. But bro, they're roasting and toasting me for my take on not being a huge Goldie fan, and I love it, man. If y'all did, this is what makes
All
it
right, I
great.
got you back. I got you back. I got you back. All Goldie does is yell. I've listened to plenty broadcasts with him on it. All that dude does is yell. If we're talking bar for bar, who's the man? Sims is a way better broadcaster. I don't give a fuck what you got to say. You don't like it, come see me. But Sims is a way better broadcaster.
Hey
It's
now.
just in real life, Sims is a fucking dickhead. And that's why people don't like him. Some dude in Bleacher Report was telling me he had a chance to meet Dave Sims. And Dave Sims walks around with his head up like he's too good to talk to the people that fucking pay his salary by listening to his dumb ass just out there doing shit like that. So once he did shit like that, I can understand why people don't like Sims. But I tell you, man, all Goldie does is yell. If you're a fan of yelling, shit, go on ahead and rock with Goldie. But he ain't the shit. He ain't what you think he is. I tell you that right now.
Have an opinion there, bro. Jesus.
Yeah, it won't no smoke for me. And just and to not even turn into one of those things, I wanted to be proud of Dave Sims as one of only two African American announcers in all of Major League Baseball. But to hear that he walks around and he treats the fans like that at the Mariners, where he's too good to take the time out to even fucking talk to you, fuck that dude. But he is better at his job than Goldie is. Hate to tell you. Hate to tell you. Look at their resumes and their accolades. There's levels to this shit. One of them is fucking Bill Russell, and the other one is fucking Dirt Nowitzki.
There's one thing about being a Seattle fan, though, is if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you got Dave Niehaus. And I don't know if you've heard of this dude, RG, but Kevin Calabro, who was the commentator for the Seattle Sonics, was to me every bit of Dave Niehaus's equal. I think they're both Hall of Fame commentators. My brother and my dad and myself, we be doing Kevin Calabro quotes all the freaking time. So sometimes you just had it so good and your expectations got so high that I'm kind of like, this guy's kind of cheesy. That's my take, is I think you can get kind of cheesy. But it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to be cheesy. I'm a cheesy ass Mo. Ask my wife. But I'm
Ah,
also not on TV being that way. Hey, gotta call yourself out. I ain't gonna front like that. But it's an art too, and I'm honestly disappointed to hear that because I never heard that take on Sims. I believe it. Some guys think their shit smells like roses. Some people are a man of the people. Y'all know where me and RG stand. We are definitely with the people, and it ain't like we're famous or nothing, but you know where we stand like that. And I'm honestly kind of disappointed to hear that, dude.
nothing more important in this world than the people in it. And don't ever forget it. The same people you look at crazy on the way up going to be the same people pointing at you on the way down. And life has a funny way of making sure that poetic justice always takes place. Now, I will tell you this. I didn't start investing into the baseball package until after Dave died. So had I started investing in it sooner, especially listening to the radio broadcast, since I can't watch the broadcast because you don't want me driving this truck anywhere near your family watching a Mariner game. You'd rather have me listen to it and pay attention to it on the road. Um, I would have loved to have been able to have that type of relationship with him, from announcer to consumer, the way that the Pacific Northwest does. But I tell you what I did get. The minor league team in Albuquerque, the Isotopes. Yes, we named our team the Albuquerque Isotopes after the Albuquerque Isotopes on The Simpsons.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
for a long time, we were the Dodgers AAA affiliate. And when the original Albuquerque Dukes left Albuquerque in early 2000, the Dodgers ended up moving their affiliation. But the city it's a Dodger town. So even on our local ESPN show radio station, we do get Dodger broadcasts. So I have a whole lifetime again to listen to the great Vin Scully. So that definitely Yeah, and there's no other man who can paint Picasso's with the English language like Vin Scully that's ever walked the face of this earth. So even though I didn't get a chance to know and hear Dave's wonderful work, I did get to hear the best they ever do it. So it's not all a complete loss.
I think the way I would put it, and because I've never really heard Vince Scully, because I've never been in the LA market or any market like you were saying that you would get access to him. And although he did a ton of national games, that was really kind of before my time. And when I was watching and listening myself, he went back to just doing his regional Dodgers thing. So all I know is that your favorite commentator is Vince Scully. That's what I do know.
Absolutely. 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 Um, Tell me this. Does Castillo's mechanics, the way he's always falling off the first base on most of his pitches, did that bring any alarm to you that he's not carrying his momentum towards home like they would try to teach us? And he's always seen, well, I didn't get a chance to see today's game, but in the last few starts that he has, it's like his momentum is always carrying him towards the first base side instead of throwing the ball following his range of motion. Is that maybe some cause why he hasn't been as dominant this year as we want him to be?
That's a good point. That's a really good call out because although he's been good, but he can be dominant, and that's what we want from him. That's a really interesting point. He has been really good in his last five starts, but you look at his game log, bro. There has been some really rough ones, and there might be something to that. And what I would say is some guys can get away with doing things in an unorthodox fashion, not following the fundamentals that you are taught. But those that shit can catch up with you though, and lots of times it does. So hopefully, the one thing I think we can all agree on as Mariners fans is this organization knows how to coach pitchers. I don't know necessarily know what they're doing on the hitting side of things, but we know they can coach pitching. Hopefully, they get that straightened out figuratively and literally. But to me, he has always been kind of an unorthodox pitcher, so that might be a style. But if you want to maintain your production for longer, he might need to follow a more conventional route.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, man, this it's gonna be an interesting ride, man. It's gonna be a real interesting ride. Even though I can't get off of this screen I'm on because I don't have my laptop and I'm using my iPad to do the show today and can't follow along with the chat. Um, my phone is charging in the other part of the truck, and in this truck I don't have an outlet where I can bring it closer to me. But I'm happy that you all are rocking with us. Thank you for being patient with us while we all had life happen last week. And speaking of life happened last week, let's go on ahead and give a shout out to our super producer, Indy, Baden Podcast Services. He did what I told him not to do, and he went to Jared and he got the ring, y'all, and she said yes. So there's still plenty of time for me to hand the "Don't Do It" banner. But let's all give a shout out to Indy, man, and Darby. Going to be getting married sometime next year, and I can't wait to go to Nashville and act the ass at his wedding reception.
Amen, brother. Amen. I didn't even know if I should say anything or not, but hey, it's on social media, so it's got to be good. But hey, congratulations. The Invisible Man, super producer Indy. I couldn't agree more. I'm actually we're on different sides of the fence, even though I know you're joking and stuff. I'm a married person
Maybe.
also. So, Ginger Fit, we wish you the best. We know you're a great father, and that's the true thing that matters. And these guys are talking about Riz on the radio. I'm a giant Rick Riz fan too. I
Yes, yes.
full disclosure, I usually miss most East Coast games because I'm still doing my thing on the deliveries, but I never miss a broadcast. I listen to so much Mariners on the radio, and if you love baseball and there is a good commentator there is nothing like the romantic aspect of baseball on the radio. I absolutely love it.
Oh yeah, man. I even suggested at home. Go outside with the grill, have you some cold ones ready, have you something you have you whatever vice it is that you get by with, and just throw it on the radio and listen to it every once in a while. Get back in touch with the way that it used to be, and just let your imagination run wild with it. Yeah, but there's nothing like baseball on the radio, man. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. So as we
Baseball on the
get ready
radio.
to, oh shit, baby, my oh my, gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Great shirt, Ty. So again, y'all, thank you for rocking with us in the chat. What's the chat talking about other than Riz? What we got out there? Let's interact with the people.
Oh, Ginger Fit, your son just started his first year of football. It's freaking awesome, man. That is awesome. Tough as hell. Even up here it gets hot, but he's gonna learn a lot of work ethic no matter how good he turns out. Jerry B gets his yard work done during Mariners games. That's what I love, getting stuff done with the Mariners on in the background. And then the thing is too is if you're doing your yard work, you're doing your chores, you're doing the shit at your home that you need to get done. If it gets too crazy, you can always pop inside for a minute, take a break, and put it on the TV. I love this. I love this. I love this. The live chat is it's cool, man. I don't know if you guys truly realize how much we love having all y'all input. My oh my ASP, dude, send us a DM. Slide up in those DMs, man. Facebook, Insta, YouTube, any way you want to try to get at us. You know all of our handles up on Bleacher Report. You see that we have guests on the show. We love y'all in the live chat, but if any of y'all want to be on the mic with us, we would be thrilled to have you. Don't be shy. Y'all see other people on with us, and we'd love it to be you also.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from this Sunday will be the next time I'll be home and have full use of all of my audio equipment. I'm going to throw down the gauntlet now. One of you guys following us in the chat, go on ahead and take Tyler up on the offer and come join and be a part of us. All you really need is just Discord, and we can take care of the rest from there. Super producer Indy will go over the dynamics with you and what you'll need to be able to do. We would prefer that you have a web camera as well too, so we can get your face up here in the blocks with me and Ty. Or if you only prefer to do audio, hey, it's cool. But hey, somebody that's following us in this live chat, let the people know that we real. And I want one of you. You got 2 weeks to get to courage. One of you guys going ahead and Jerry's already been with us twice. Big shout out to Eric Neal, has been with us a couple times. Yeah, man, just go join the fun. Join the fun. It's always better to talk baseball with some other fans as well too. We do this for you guys. We appreciate the love that you've given us, and the best way for us to show that back is to invite you guys to come be part of the magic with us each and every week while we're live on YouTube and Twitch. Let's get to a couple other things real quick. Closing ceremonies for the Olympics was today. U.S. dominated an overall medal count, and I believe the women's basketball team kept us one goal ahead of China for the overall gold medal count as well too. I know it's an election year, and we all have different opinions on different things that are going on as far as that goes. But also every 4 years, there's nothing like waving the stars and stripes and uniting and cheering on our athletes as they go to take on other athletes from the world. The women's track team put on for the set. Women's track team dominated for the set. And the men had some great performances as well, too, minus the 4x100 relay. For some reason, ever since 1995, we can't seem to pass the fucking baton around in a relay race from guys who practice that shit. Oh, man. Did anybody get a chance to? I only had to listen to it, but man, Steph Curry is him. Steph Curry is fucking him. Helped the U.S. bring home gold in men's basketball. If you have a chance, if you didn't get to see it, go back on YouTube and just watch his performance from the last 4 minutes of that game. France got within 3, and Steph Curry just turned into Jordan 96, 97. Was like, no, you ain't getting shit. The shot he hit off his left leg double team. Just Jesus Christ. The boy's a bad man. Boy's a bad man. Yeah, man. Hopefully you all enjoyed some of the Olympics that have been going on. Got a chance to cheer for some of your favorite athletes and some of your favorite sports. And now it's been a race time, baby. It's been a race time. No other time like it. No other time like it.
That's what I'm talking about. And I know that the Mariners have my interest when I don't really care about a Seahawks preseason game. And I know it's preseason, but for us sports fans, football gets started up. You get pretty hyped, man. I get really hyped when football starts coming around the corner. But the Mariners got my attention. They are 1A right now for me. Jerry B saying ladies soccer held it down. Very proud of our country, man, because here's the thing. These other countries are fantastic at these sports also. So the competition level is freaking awesome. We talked about it before. Maybe it was even just on our group text, but how many international players are in the NBA, making the talent pool for the world much better than it's been in the past. And just so you know, RG, Ginger Fit Dad, he typed in right here, Curry put France to sleep, and that's why I started putting him to sleep also. But for real, for y'all that like hoops at all, I've said this before. There's when Steph Curry takes shots, there's only one person on the planet where I'd be like, yeah, that's a good shot. Every other person on the planet, however, 5.5 billion people, whatever the hell that number is, all the other billions, no, terrible shot selection. Steph Curry, yeah, I can dig that. Let it rip, bro.
Absolutely, man. One of the best to ever do it. Um, it was a fun time, man. It was a very fun time. And let's go ahead and put our attention back to baseball and cheer on these Mariners over the next 7 weeks. And man, just we need a good performance in Detroit. We really need a good performance from them in Detroit. None of this bullshit.
Here, I'm gonna say some blasphemy, but it's just for the hype, man. Macklemore over Eminem. Let's go to Detroit and fucking do it, baby.
Have you lost your fucking mind?
uh, if that's not a homer take, I don't know what is.
From the guy who thinks that A-Rod is better than Jeter.
Yo, RG, Mariners Life Me tells me to go ahead and sign off.
Right. You've been drinking.
Oh man. Nah, we know what time it is. It's like a top 100 versus like a top couple, so we'll leave it at that.
Christ.
I had to get my digs in though.
Again, this comes from the guy who thinks that A-Rod is better than Jeter.
I never said that. More talented, possibly.
I have no words. I have no words. No. Oh my God. This completely ruined the vibe, man. If this was Guitar Hero, they say you were an energy hoarder.
Oh man.
No, it's been fun, man. It's been fun. What else is popping with the chat? What else is popping with the chat?
Okay. Ginger Fit says that Damian Lillard gets in the never a bad shot type of scenario. I can dig that. I've been to a couple of Blazers games actually since the Sonics moved, and one of them was the Golden State Warriors. Of course, I wanted to see the Warriors if I'm going to drive all the way down to Portland. And so this is where the NBA needs to figure something out, RG. And this was when Kevin Durant was on the team. And I went down there with my dad and my brother, and the story is, so I sit down and there is a little girl from the Tri-Cities, which is in eastern Washington, and this little girl is wearing a Curry jersey. And what we didn't know, and her dad told us, they're like, Curry got scratched from the game. And Me, my brother, and my dad were all really disappointed. We drove from Seattle to Portland. We want to see Steph Curry. But then I'm a grown ass man. I think about this little girl from the Tri Cities in a Steph Curry jersey, how disappointed she must have been. NBA, figure it out. Your stars need to play. Load management is bullshit. I don't think Michael Jeffrey Jordan would ever take a part of that kind of stuff. If it means you extend the season, whatever you got to do. But after that night, I couldn't have become more against how stars just kind of decide to play or not play.
Yeah, it's definitely tough when you spend those high dollars to take your family out for good entertainment, especially to see a generational talent like that. And a case of bitchitis happens to catch in, and they decide they're just going to ride the pine. Same thing happened 2 seasons ago. I live in Albuquerque. Albuquerque, Phoenix is roughly a 5.5 hour drive. So I had a half season ticket passes for the Suns. They're playing the Lakers. Go out there. Not only is Devin Booker not playing, not only is Chris Paul not playing, LeBron's not playing, and it was very, very shitty just to see them in street clothes, jumping up and down every time something happened, but couldn't put that energy out on the court. Excuse me. So yeah, definitely, I understand your pain, man. I definitely understand your pain. Um, let's get back to the Mariners here for a little bit, and we'll wrap this thing up here shortly. As we move forward, do we really think that Julio needs a rehab assignment? Are they pushing him too soon, or when's a realistic time that you think we should pull the trigger on fully seeing if he's back? Because from what I was reading and looking at today, he didn't really look like himself up there.
I mean, got to give it a couple more games to see. But I mean, 5 strikeouts, holy shit. Yeah, I know the guy strikes out a lot, and that's part of his game, even when he's at his best. But yikes! And he didn't really seem like he was getting much torque in his lower body, in my humble opinion, and that is a huge sign to me that his ankle ain't right yet. And I also think that Julio is just such a factor in the outfield defensively, where I think it's a smarter move to let him really get healthy so he can be the Julio that he is. A huge part of his game is the fact that he's a fantastic center fielder. If we could get Julio, we get Robles, we get a Rosarina. That is covering some serious freaking ground out there. And I also think with our additions and a couple of dudes heating up that we can hold the fort. But let's give it a couple of games and see where we're at. RG, you're gonna ride with Ginger Fit Dad. I don't know if this is his order, but the way I interpret it, you ride with him. He's got Biggie number one.
I'm an '80s baby, man. So I've seen 6 different forms of hip hop come across as mainstream, and to me, just like I talked about Vin Scully, there's just a way with words that Christopher Wallace had. Tupac, you had to be engaged with the struggle and engaged with the thug life in the last part of his life to really let Tupac do that for you. But I'd put Ready to Die almost up against any album that's come out in the last 34 years. And to know that that album was dropped in '94, and I tell people this all the time too. I only know one rapper's lyrics that they teach in English classes in Ivy League universities, and those lyrics belong to one Christopher Wallace.
Jerry B says it was all a dream, man. I think these guys ride with Biggie also. Okay, Ginger Fit. All of a sudden it turned into a hip hop debate. Biggie had the flow, Pac had the lyrics. I mean, we could go on about this forever. I'm a huge Nas guy, also a huge Nas guy, but
Dude,
everyone's got their
Nasir is
flavor.
just so the new flavor of the day, and that song is everywhere. Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. I will tell you probably the top two of the top three disc records that have ever been made. One was made by Tupac Shakur, Hit 'Em Up, and the other one was Ether by Nas. If you if you've ever heard the term ethered somebody, that is in our vocabulary because what Nas did to Jay-Z to make that man go on New York radio and apologize, it's fucking amazing. And Nas has just withstood the test of time, man, and still putting out good music. So yeah, man, it's I try not to get into the whose generation was better. I'm 41 years old. I try to let the kids enjoy their moment because God knows I'm fortunate enough to have grown up in the golden era of what hip hop music really is. If hip hop is 50 years old, I've been around for 41 of those years. So I've seen it go all over the place, man. The one that still kind of gets me is because I felt he would have been next had his life not gotten taken from him short at that age too, was also a guy from New York named Big L. Big L had some amazing music, and you can go back and try to take a listen to it. Even the song he had with Pop, just to know that both of those guys didn't live to get to see 25 years old is real sad. But yeah, man, hip hop's a gym. Hip hop's a gym, and it's not just. Yes, it's my favorite genre of music as well too. But I tell you what, I wish I could do one time before I pass, and I got to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers in concert before they get too old to go do it. Love me some Flea, love me some Anthony Kiedis. I'll be screaming the words of Under the Bridge, and people be looking at me strange, like, how the fuck do you know that song? Like, shut the fuck up, it's a classic. Yeah, man.
I fumbled
it's
the
a bunch
bag
of
by
good
not
stuff.
going, dude. I had a lot of friends that went to that show at T-Mobile. I fumbled the bag by not going. I'm going to regret that one for a long time. And here's the thing, too. Jerry B says 90s rap for life. I'm also a huge classic rock fan. I love rock and roll from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s for that matter. But now that I'm almost 40 in a couple of months here, 39 right now, we're in the year 2024. I'm going to say it. The 1990s are one of the, if not the best decade of music ever. All genres. I'm going to say
Mhm.
it. I
Yeah.
truly believe that. And I'm a person that I love Pink Floyd. I love Led Zeppelin, the Beatles. I'm all about that shit from the 60s and the 70s. But man, just everything that came out from every genre in the 90s, you could put that up against any decade, man.
One of the greatest days in music ever happened in the 90s, where the November Rain album by, God, they were just on the tip of my tongue.
Guns N'
Uh,
Roses.
Guns N' Roses. November Rain by Guns N' Roses came out. Enter the 36 Chambers by Wu-Tang came out. And the Low End Theory by Tribe Called Quest. All three of those albums dropped on the same one day.
Oh man.
Tough, 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 tough to beat that.
I just want to move on really quickly. And this is what's so fun too, is because I write down a bunch of stats, but we love to go with the flow here. The stats come up if they do. If they don't, they don't. That's not the thing. They're there in case we want to bring them up. But Ginger Fit Dad, sorry. How about our boy, the Dom father? He had a game too. He did. He crushed the shit out of two doubles. Both of them were almost home runs. But I'm still really questioning Dom Canzone because he is the definition of a low leverage hitter. When nobody's on base, his OPS is 730, 752. Nobody on base, 752. That's really good. Runners on, it goes down to 580. Runners in scoring position, it goes down to 448. And with the bases loaded, he is 0 for 3. Tonight, he struck out twice, once with the bases loaded, once with 2 on. Dom Canzone can run into balls, but we need his situational hitting to come up, or all I want to see him is as a fourth outfielder right now.
So it's like the guy in slow pitch softball who hits a 500-foot home run when there's no one on base.
You're damn
Just,
right.
just shitty as fuck. But so, something that we did do today I was screaming about last year. Did we actually bunt to manufacture a run today? How taboo is that in the junior league, in the junior circuit, to bunt to manufacture a fucking run? I know some analytics nerds were probably turning over in their mom's basement, but fuck those guys too.
Well, and here's the thing: is the analytics like heart staunch defender would tell us, well, look it, they scored 12 runs, but at that moment, Severino was shoving it. At that moment, 1-0. It felt like they were threatening the last couple of innings. We're barely holding on. Can we get 2 runs? That might be what it takes in this game. And then lo and behold, they make a throwing error. You make an error, we know what happens in Major League Baseball. They give us an extra out. Cal blasts a freaking home run. The wheels completely fall off. But that's looking at what happened. In that exact moment, I sure felt like it might be a 1-0, 2-0 type of ball game, and we are going to somehow have to hold on for dear life.
Absolutely, man. And since we brought up analytics, a melancholy salute to Billy Bean, who passed since the last time that we had a broadcast. Billy Bean, Paul DePodesta, the baseball that you watch today is something that they figured out with those Oakland A's teams in the early 2000s on how to build and manufacture teams and kind of put all of this into play. If you're unfamiliar with Billy Bean, he was the general manager of the Oakland A's for some of their magical runs. He's half the reason why the movie Moneyball was made. And I know he had a office job with Major League Baseball the last few years, and he passed this week. So contributions that he's made to the game, just I'm telling you, all of baseball is played that way. And it's something that he came up with to be able to look at something more than just power guys to be able to put together a strong team with. I mean, for them to have the second lowest payroll in all of baseball and compete every year for the World Series, that's the stuff that dreams are made of, man. So a big shout out to Billy Bean, and thank you for your contributions to the game of Major League Baseball.
So here's the thing, bro, and I thought exactly what you did when I first read this information, and Ginger Fit Dad hit us up. It's actually a different Billy Bean who
Really?
was instrument. Yeah, and I can't even remember his contributions necessarily. And I thought exactly what you did. I thought exactly what
Well,
you
that was
did.
wrong.
It's all good. But you know, one had Billy Bean from Moneyball has an E at the end of his name. This is a Billy Bean, kind of like Mr. Bean from those British comedies. And I need to Google him
Well,
because there's
fuck me for wanting to give a shit.
but I can't
But shout
remember
out to you too,
exactly.
Billy Bean, the one I don't know.
I, I need to Google him, but I think he was kind of instrumental in some sort of like helping out some minority type of players and shit like that. I needed to stop talking because I don't even remember, to be honest. But you're right. You're spot on though. Not bunting. That's Moneyball all the way. And God, we can quote that movie forever. I pay you to get on first base, not to get thrown out at second.
Yep, man. How can you not be romantic about baseball?
Oh,
Man,
shout out Emmett Brown is in the house. I didn't even realize he was the one with the Mr. Bean comment, which is pretty funny. Oh shit, man. Shout out to all the homies, man. Jerry B getting down tonight, Ginger Fit Dad, Emmett Brown, Tom E, Mariners Lifer, Sunday Evening Media, Jared B. We got Jerry B and Jared B. Emmett Brown's drinking at Muckleshoe. Holla! I know RG would be down to join you.
shit, man. 25 on black, baby. Let's go. Pay for some of them drinks. 25 on black on the roulette table. Let's go.
Okay. Hey, Ginger Fit Dad dropped some knowledge on us. I was on the right track, but I wanted to stop because I wasn't exactly sure. He says that the Billy Bean that passed away was Major League Baseball's first ambassador for inclusion. I'm not sure exactly what that entails. Maybe he was behind like the RBI type of initiative that we saw Joe Morgan push so much on the commercials trying to get baseball in the hood and stuff like that. I'm not sure exactly. That's just a guess to some of the things that he would have done, but people were speaking really highly of him, and I can't echo it enough. I immediately, for like almost all day until the Mariners broadcast came on, and their pregame people were talking about the Billy Bean that passed, and everyone in the because I never heard of this gentleman before, except for the Billy Bean from the Oakland A's. So you're not tripping. I
I did
think
well. I apologize for
everyone.
getting that wrong. I apologize for getting that wrong. But even though it might be the wrong guy, let's still give a shout out to Mr. B for his contributions and thank you for making our game that we all love so much great. Ty, anything else in your notes, man? You want to try to get on? Anything the chat want to get on? Or like I said, I've been up to 3 o'clock in the morning. I got to get started soon. So
Sheesh. Let's get it, man. I'm just pumped, man. And I can't believe that we kind of went off the rails talking about hip hop and shit. I bet we could do this all night with all of our amazing people on the live chat. Just once again, huge shout out to Indian Darby. Congratulations on your engagement. And once again, thank you to everyone in the live chat. And the biggest thank you is to you, big bro, and your dedication to the show, doing this on the road on no sleep. I really appreciate you.
hey, man, the people who follow us make this interesting for us. They're the reasons why we started this. Me, you, and Indy can talk sports all day, but we wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for the people who follow us. So, again, thank you all for being with us each and every Sunday. I want to give a big shout out to our social media director, Ms. Katie Matsumoto. Even though I don't like your football team, the work you do for us is invaluable. And just congratulations on you and Tyler moving into the new house. As you can see, there's no ugly Ohio State O in the background because now Tyler has his own recording space, baby. So we don't have to look at that foolishness anymore on this show.
When I get the time, it's going to be Seattle. When I get the time, you'll see me represented going forward.
Gotta love it. Hey man, happy life, happy life, wife, happy life. Indy, take notes. You're gonna need to learn that. Yeah, well, from all of us here, Vaden Podcast Services presents My Oh My. It's another sports podcast. Be sure to follow us on our socials, My Oh My ASP. You can find us on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, which you've been watching us on. For those of you who can't be part of the live broadcast, the podcast drops every Tuesday, anywhere you like to get your favorite podcast from. Again, there's nothing more important in this world than the people in it. And if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have a show to be able to talk sports and have fun with you all. So we really appreciate you being here, yo. That's my co-host, Mr. Ty Talks 24. Hit him up on Bleacher. I'm that dude, RG. Big shout out to Death to Indy. Make sure you follow some of his music on YouTube, Death to Indy, INDY. You can find out some of his other talents that he has as well, too. And just talented team over here, man. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Sunday. We'll see you next week on the next My Oh My. It's another sports podcast.